Today, we are diving into a really powerful, all-natural alternative to all those chemical hair products out there. We're going to break down an authentic herbal recipe for hair dye that, believe it or not, you can make right in your own kitchen. So let's get into it.
First off, let me just ask you, is graying hair something you think about? You know, whether it's just a few silver strands popping up or something more, it's something a lot of us deal with. But the choices we make to manage it, well, they can make a huge difference to our hair's health.
So yeah, graying hair is a super common thing, but here's a little secret. Not all graying is created equal. The very first step is figuring out which kind you're actually dealing with, because that really changes the game plan.
And this is where it gets really interesting. You see, on one hand, you have premature graying. Sometimes you can actually manage this with lifestyle tweaks, certain oils, or other treatments. But then there's age-related graying. And for that, coloring is pretty much the main way to go if you want to conceal it.
And that brings us to the usual suspect, right? The stuff that's on every shelf in every store, chemical hair dyes. They're fast, they're easy, they're everywhere. But, and this is a big but, they come with some serious downsides that we really need to talk about.
So, what is the big deal with these store-bought dyes? Well, if you look at the ingredients, you'll find that the vast majority of them contain ammonia. That's a really harsh chemical that can just wreck your hair over time. Plus, they're a huge cause of allergic reactions, anything from a little itchiness to way more serious side effects. It's a trade-off a lot of people make, but you have to wonder, is it really worth it?
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If the most common solution out there is potentially bad for you, where do you even begin to look for something that actually works but is also safe?
Well, that brings us to a pretty amazing solution. We're going to dive into a genuine, all-natural herbal hair dye that you can whip up yourself. And this right here says it all. This isn't just another product. It's an authentic, allergy-free recipe. And the best part? No side effects. You get all the color you want with none of the nasty stuff.
Okay, this is probably the part you've been waiting for. How do you actually make this stuff? Let's get into the step-by-step.
First up, the ingredients. You'll need 20 grams of dried henna powder. That's your base color. Then, 20 grams of dried curry leaf powder, which is fantastic for hair strength. Next, 20 grams of triphala powder. It's a classic Ayurvedic blend known for its rejuvenating qualities. Then you'll need 10 grams of tea powder dregs, and finally, just enough juice from the Eucalyptus alba plant, you might know it as cayenne, to mix everything together.
The method itself is actually pretty simple. First, just mix all of those dry powders together in a bowl. Then, you're going to slowly add that Eucalyptus alba juice until you get a nice thick paste. Now listen up, because this next part is absolutely crucial. You have to store that paste in an iron pan, cover it up, and just let it sit for 10 whole days. I know, 10 days. But this is where the magic happens. The iron from the pan reacts with the herbs, and this whole oxidation process is what gives the dye its rich, dark color. After those 10 days are up, just give it a good stir, and you're ready to go.
So, you've done the prep, you've waited patiently, you've applied the paste. Now what? Let's talk about the results and the amazing benefits you get from going the natural route.
The first thing to really get is that great results start with a little bit of patience. That 10-day waiting period isn't just for nothing. It's an investment. This isn't some instant chemical reaction. It's a natural process that lets that dye mature and develop a really deep, rich color.
So, once you apply that fully matured paste to your hair, the next step is to just kick back and let it sit for about 2.5 hours. This is the time when all those amazing natural ingredients really get to work, depositing that beautiful color right into your hair.
And finally, the big payoff. After you wash it all out, what are you left with? A beautiful, natural black color that can last for up to a whole month. Now that is some serious staying power for something that's completely free of chemicals.
So, when you boil it all down, what's the most important thing to remember from all this? It's simple, really. You get a gorgeous, long-lasting color for your hair without exposing yourself to any of those harsh chemicals, allergies, or weird side effects that come with the store-bought stuff.
So that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Now that you know there's a powerful, safe, and time-tested alternative out there, will you choose a more natural path for your hair? It's definitely something worth thinking about.